Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be considering the variable scope versus the magnifier behind a red dot. Okay, so here we've got primary arms 1 to 8. Okay, so keep it in 1 power, rotate this all the way over if you want 8 power, rotate this back if you want 1 power. In 1 power, this kind of works like a red dot, but if your face is not on the gun, all you're going to see is a shadow. So you got to have your face in the right position, okay? Which I think is a major disadvantage as far as trying to use this as a red dot. Okay, now in 8 power, right? For distance shooting, of course, you're going to have your face on the right position. All right, so for distance shooting in 8 power, this works great. In 1 power for CQB, again, if you don't get that your face in the right position, get your eye at the proper distance behind the glass, you're gonna see shadow. Okay. Now, considering the red dot, okay, with the red dot over here, right? If you come up and you are in an awkward position like this, right, you're not gonna see shadow. Okay, and if you can get your red dot. You can get that red dot, or in this case the green dot, on target, you will be able to hit the target. All right, so let's say you're on the ground in some weird position, right? Like this. A weird position like this. Flip it over to the other side. Flip it over this side. Again, upside down gun now. Upside down gun. I'm taking headshots now, right? Headshots I'm taking. Empty. All right. The last one was a headshot. So with this, okay, regardless what position you're in, all right, you're not going to see a shadow. If you can have that red dot all the way in the corner, you'll hit your target. Okay. With this in the 1 power, in that same position, all I see is black in my glass. Okay. All right. So here's the thing. As a CQB gun, right? As a CQB gun, okay, this variable 1 to 8 scope cannot do the job of a CQB optic as well as a red dot. Okay. Now, as a distance scope, right? So this one over here, okay, I've got the Holosun HM3X, 3 times magnifier. Okay, at distance, okay, I get 3 times magnification. Okay, this one over here, okay, that's the Vortex 6X, Micro 6X. Okay, I get 6 times magnification. Okay, so 6x magnification, right? This will do the job just as well as any fixed 6 power scope or any variable 1 to 6 scope. This is, when you're looking at distance, you're going to see the same thing. Okay. Now there might be some differences in glass clarity, but I think that's more of a comfort issue. I mean, with this gun over here, I was hitting 1 MOA, right? I did a video of it a few days ago. So for distance shooting, for precision shooting, this can do the job of the variable 1 to 8 scope, right? So this can do the job of a distance gun. However, this cannot do the job of a CQB gun as well as a red dot, right? For the main reason is, if in this position here, all I see is a black shadow. I actually have to get my face on the gun, get proper eye relief, so that shadow disappears. Okay, that is the most important consideration, I think, when you're considering a 1 to 8 versus the red dot with the magnifier. Okay, now there are some other important things to consider. Okay, with this one over here, you're stuck with 1.5 pounds. Okay, this is 1.5 pounds of weight. You cannot reduce that weight, right? And because that's the only aiming system on this gun over here. Okay. By the way, this base, the base that's holding the this scope, this base is probably just as heavy, if not heavier, than this whole optic over here. Okay, all right. So with this, if I want to lighten the weight up, there it goes. Thing comes completely off the gun. So in a nighttime shooting type of situation, there's no reason for this to be on the gun. I'm just going to run with this, and then what I can do, take my little pistol light here, put that on the gun, okay, and now, okay, basically that looks like a front sight post on top of my gun. Okay, and I can use either lefty or righty with either thumb. Now, my dedicated night shooting gun, right, at home, yeah, I mean, I've got a rifle light. I don't have it here, but I have a rifle light with a pressure pad on it that's zip tied down. But because it's zip tied down, that's kind of like married to that gun, right? I can't just take it on and off as easy. And this is 1,000 looms right here. My rifle light is 1,000 looms. This is 1,000 looms. Only difference is this goes on real easy. You just tighten it up over here, right? Then when you don't want it, you undo it, take it off. So the main advantage, one of the great advantages of an AR-15 is that it is a lightweight rifle, right? You can run this very light. So I don't want to put stuff on here to make the gun heavier that I can't easily take off, unless I know that that's like the main situation where I'm going to be, the main purpose of that gun. So for example, with this gun over here, I mainly use this just for distance shooting, right? That's why I've got the bipod fixed on, I have an M-lock bipod fixed onto this. It basically lives on the gun, right? And I've got the variable 1 to 8. I mainly just use this in 8 power. Occasionally I'll shoot in 1 power. But, this is set up for distance shooting, okay? At one point I actually had a rifle light on this, on the offset, with a pressure pad on it. It made the gun stupid heavy. I wasn't shooting it at night often enough, so I just took it off, right? I didn't need this gun to be that heavy, especially if the gun is set up for distance shooting, and distance shooting I basically do in the daytime, right? At nighttime, how far are you going to be shooting, right? You're not going to be shooting, past 100 yards. I think that the most I ever shot, when I had the 1,000 lume rifle light on this, the most I was able to see was 140 yards, and be able to, I was shooting on a white paper, so it was reflective. That is the furthest I was able to see in the woods with a 1,000 lume rifle light, and still be able to, and be able to see the target. When I backed up a little bit further, I couldn't even see the white paper, using that 1,000 lume rifle light. So at night, you definitely don't need an 8-power scope, because the furthest that you're going to be able to see is probably about 140 yards, despite the fact that they'll say that these 1,000 lume lights are good for 300 yards. Unless like you're in an open field where light is reflective, you're not going to see that far. Okay, so out here in the woods where the trees cast shadows, the furthest that you can possibly get is 140 yards. You can see a target that wants to be seen at 100 yards. Most of your engagements will probably be at between 75 yards and in, more at 50 yards than anything, because still, the trees cast shadows. I mean, that's the reality of nighttime shooting. But the point I'm saying is I want to keep this gun as light as possible. If I need a rifle light on this, I quickly put the rifle light on. All right, put it on, tighten it down, right, and take it off when you don't want it. Same thing with the magnifier. I got my 6x magnifier on here. If I move into an open area where I might be shooting at distance, put it on, right? Flip it off to the side, right? If I need it, flip it back over, okay? Now this is a lot faster than this, okay? 1, 2, 2, right? So it's 1, 2, 2.5 almost. I didn't quite get there. 1, 2. Oh, you can kind of do it in 2. It's more like 2 1/4 turns. 1, 2. Depends on 2 1/4 turns, depending on how you position your hand. So realistically, you're gonna have to do it 3 times. So that is definitely slower than that. Flip it over there, flip it over, go over there, flip it over. Okay, so this back and forth is way faster. Now, the proof, when I watch competition shooters shoot that have variable 1 to 8 scopes, what they usually do is they keep this in 8 power, and then they've got like a 45-degree offset over here that has a red dot. So rather than doing this back and forth, what they'll do is 8 power to here, 1 power, they rotate the gun to the side. They get to their pistol optic, right? They have a pistol red dot on the side over here, and they're going back and forth like this, right? So my thought is, if you're gonna have a 1 to 8 scope, because here's the thing, the variable option adds extra weight. If you were to get a fixed 8 power, right, or fixed 10 power even, right, that's going to be lighter than the variable scope, right? So I would recommend a fixed 8 power with the, if that's what you want. If you want to, I would recommend a fixed 8 power with the pistol at the side, right? Why pay extra for the variable option? Now on this gun, it makes sense for me because I have no intention of putting a pistol optic at the 45-degree angle. So it makes, and this gun is mainly a dedicated distance shooter, hence the bipod. So it makes a lot of sense for me to keep an optic that can go down to 1 power. But for most of my guns, right, because I only have one variable 1 to 8. Most of my guns are set up like this, okay? And I take this off when I don't need it. So there are my thoughts on that. Drop some comments below. Let me know what you guys think. If you're not on the channel, subscribe. Talk to you all soon. Hello everyone, I wanted to add a very important point. One of the issues that comes up with using magnifiers behind your red dots is that the magnifier also basically enlarges your red dot, right? So if you have a 2 MOA dot with a 3x magnifier, right, now you got a 6 MOA dot. Or if you have, let's say, a 6x magnifier, now your 2 MOA dot becomes a 12 MOA dot, right? So how do you deal with that? How are you going to be able to, hit a target at distance when you've got this big dot that's obscuring your target, right? How can that possibly be just as good as a distance scope, which has like the fine crosshairs that you can put on the target? Well, with on the rifle that I showed you guys that had the 6x magnifier, right? That was the Vortex Micro 6x. The red dot optic that I was using was the Holosun 503G. Okay, so that has the chevron, right? Which has that fine tip, and the way you zero that in is you put the tip underneath the bullseye, so it doesn't obscure your target. And then at closer distance, right, if you flip the magnifier off, the whole chevron basically functions as a dot. You just put that on your target. But at distance, with the magnifier flipped over, you would put that underneath your target. So same as you do with your iron sights, right? If you got iron sights, you match them up, you put it underneath the target. So that's nothing too unusual. If you've got the 2 MOA dot, right? So it's going to be round. So at the top of the circle, right? You know, it's easy to tell on the circle where the top is. Well, same deal. You zero in your scope so that the dot is underneath your bullseye. All right. And so at close distances, if the magnifier is off, you put your dot on the targets. At further distances, with the magnifier on, you basically put your dot underneath the target that you're shooting at, right? And then this way you can focus at the top of the circle, which is fine. It doesn't obscure your target, and you're able to take well-aimed shots. Okay, so and that's the reason why I say that the magnifier with the red dot can do the job of the variable 1 to 8 scope, but not in reverse, right? The variable 1 to 8 scope can't do the job of the red dot especially if you find yourself in an awkward position on the ground, in some weird funky position where you can't get a proper cheek weld, can't get your face on the gun the way you're supposed to get it. All you're gonna see is shadow. You're not gonna be able to see you're not gonna be able to look through the tube. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna include a link below to another video that I did where I was reviewing the Vortex Micro 6X magnifier and the Holosun 503G ACSS, where I allow basically I gave you guys a view through the magnifier so you guys can see what the reticle looks like when it's magnified 6 times. So that'll be below in the comments and in the description. Just click on that. It'll take you over to that video and you guys can see what that looks like. Okay, so hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll talk to you all soon.